everyone, my name is Taylor and this is the Shea Knitting Podcast. I'm coming to you from Cairns, which is in North Queensland, Australia. And yeah, this is a podcast about knitting and crochet. All I have to show today is knitting projects, what I've been working on. I don't have any finished objects. I kind of have a finished object, but it's kind of a redo of something that I've finished in the past. And so I'll talk about my knitting, what I've been working on, and at the end I'll talk a bit about my new career that I started this week. Today is Friday afternoon. I think it's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and it's very overcast. I think we might get an afternoon storm. I feel like it has been raining in my part of the world for months now, since the beginning of December, and I'm really sick of it. It rains every single day, and there's been lots of localized flooding around where I live, and then the next sort of like large town near me has been devastated by flooding and had the worst floods, and have had, I think, more rain than they've had in like 100 years or something like that. It's phenomenal. And so I'm drinking some tea at the moment. I'm drinking this Lamington tea. So Lamingtons are my all-time favorite baked good. And if you don't know what a Lamington is, if you don't live in Australia, it is a sponge cake cut into cubes or rectangles, dipped in chocolate and then rolled in coconut, and it's so good. It's my favorite thing ever. I've loved them ever since I was a kid. So when I saw that tea, I just had to try it, and it actually tastes pretty good. It tastes very much like a Lamington, which is very nice. And I'm drinking it out of this mug that I got the other week from Maya. And Maya is a department store in Australia, so last thing I need is another mug, but I saw this and I was like, I really like that, and it's really nice size, so I had to buy it. So I'll show my redo of a finished object. It is these pair of socks that I made a little while ago. So what when I knit these, I knit them 2 at a time, toe up, because they were scrappy socks and I wanted to use as much yarn as possible. And one of the dilemmas that I have when I do toe up socks, which is not very often, is the bind off is super tight. And so what I did was I wore them to bed, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks ago I wore them to bed. It was a rainy night and it was quite chilly, and so I wanted to wear some socks to bed, so I wore these, and they were so tight to get on. They were okay once I had them on, but just trying to get them over my heel, it was a bit of an effort. So I undid the bind off, and I had used up all of this green yarn, which was unfortunate, so I just got some brown, and as you can see, half of it is the brown and half of it is that green. So you can see how much more stretch this has now, because I basically doubled the amount of yarn in this bind off. And I used a bind off from Very Pink Knits, and I can link that below. It is, I think it was like a knit through the back loop kind of bind off, and it was very, very easy, and didn't take me very long at all. And I'm glad that I did that, because now they're gonna be a lot more wearable, and yeah, that's a little redo of a finished object. So I'm gonna just go on with my whips. I cast on this shawl probably after the last podcast that I had done, and it's the Gold Dust Shawl by Lisa Haynes. and it's just a really simple shawl with eyelets and a garter stitch border. And so the yarn that I'm using is this Knit Picks Alpaca Cloud in the Smoke Heather colorway. This is a lace weight yarn, and it's 100% baby alpaca. And I had 3 skeins of this in my stash, and I've had it for quite a while. It's very soft in the skein, and I initially bought it to make the banana leaf shawl, which is quite a popular lace weight shawl pattern. And I started knitting with it, and I just was not feeling it at all. It just, I don't know, I didn't like the fabric. I didn't like knitting the alpaca in that lace weight version. So what I did was, like, I didn't want to waste this yarn, and I knew I didn't want to knit it in lace weight. So for this shawl, I decided to hold it double, and I really like the way that it's knitting up. It's quite enjoyable. I like it a lot. I like the fabric that it's making. So if you see the shawl at the moment, it's very, you can kind of see, it's a little hard to see. It's very like bunched up, but I know when I block that, this will, you know, stretch out. And yeah, I'm just going along with it. It's very, very easy. You've got this garter ridge, this garter border, I should say, and it's like a 6-row repeat. It's very simple. I've been working on it most nights, and I'm just gonna basically go until I've used up all the yarn. So this is from the first 2 skeins, and I have 1 more skein which I've halved into 2. So I'm going to knit up all of this, knit up a bit of the other skein, and then bind off. And I just can't wait to block this. I think this will just be really, really beautiful. It's just a great color. It's a good use of stash yarn, and it's just like a really easy kind of mindless project where it's not, you know, just boring stocking out. There's a bit of purling and yarn overs and that kind of thing. So very, very easy. I really like it. I'm obsessed with all of Lisa Haynes' shawl designs. If you've not seen them, go to her Ravelry page and check them out. I want to make each and every one of them. They're so nice. The next project I have, I'll just go grab it, is a sock whip. I cast this on quite a while ago. I may have shown it on the podcast then, or I may not have. Basically, it's just a sock whip that I've had living in the car, and I thought, you know, I would knit on it when I go on car rides, which really is not that often, and I do most of the driving. So it's kind of been sitting there and not getting any attention. So I took it out of the car, and I've just done probably about an inch on it this week. And this is a sock for Bryce. The colors are pretty crazy. This is a Regia sock yarn, Arnie and Carlos design. The color is 02461. I think when you buy the yarn, it does have the colorway names on the website or wherever I got it from, but they don't actually have the color names on the skeins for whatever reason. And I love Arnie and Carlos sock yarn. It's just really fun to work on. Always have really interesting color combinations, and it's a really, you know, heavy duty, good sturdy yarn. And I've knit Bryce a few pairs of socks with this yarn, and it's held up really well. I don't hand wash, hand knit socks or anything like that. I just throw them in with our clothes, and we don't put our clothes in a dryer, we hang them dry. So I just put them in with the clothes and then I just like sort of lay them flat to dry, and they hold up really, really well. I'm using, I think this is like an Addy needle. Yeah, it's an Addy sock rocket, I think, and they're 2.25 millimeter needles. I knit Bryce's socks with 64 stitches. I usually do 56 when I'm making mine. So that's that project. For whatever reason, lately I've been really wanting to make more socks, but I'm trying to keep my works in progress to a minimum, to say like 3 at a time, because what I end up doing is getting really overwhelmed with what I'm working on, and I feel like I'm not accomplishing enough. So I'm gonna work on this a little bit each day and work on my other whips as well, and just try and get things done and not cast a million things on. So I showed my Sipila on the last podcast, and I was still working on the yoke, I think, or no, I hadn't. I had finished my sleeves, that's right. Yeah, so all I've really done on this is just continue to work on the body, and I love it. I love the colors. I can't wait till I can block this. And yeah, I think I'm halfway through the body, and it's just really mindless stockinette, round and round and round. And yeah, I love these colors. I can't wait till it's finished. I think I'm gonna wear this a lot. Very excited for it. Really not much more else to say on this one. My goal for the next podcast would be to have this done. Maybe I can wear it for you. And I'm just really curious to see how this yoke will block out as well. So since this was my first colorwork project, and it's actually, I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it's more difficult than the next colorwork project that I've cast on and have started working on. But working on this definitely gave me the confidence that I needed. Like, I did this, I didn't make any mistakes in terms of reading the chart and doing the colorwork. No, that's not true. I didn't make any mistakes in terms of reading the chart, but I didn't really know, you know, which yarn to hold in which hand, and I think I've got that sorted now. So I'm not sure if I told you on the last episode that I was casting on the Humulus jumper by Isabell Kraemer, but that's what I did. And I've finished the yoke and I've separated for the sleeves, and now I've just got lots of stockinette to do and sleeves to knit, so I will show you that. So here it is. I'm so happy with this. I'm so pleased with it. I feel like my color work is almost perfect. You can see it is so flat. The contrast is amazing. I absolutely love this. I'm so glad I chose these colors. I'm gonna wear this so much. And I really enjoyed working with this yarn. It's a very rustic, it's not soft, but I think it will be perfect with like a long sleeve shirt underneath, and will be very warm when I get to go to somewhere that's cold and snowing. So yeah, very happy with this. The yarn that I used is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. It's the worsted yarn. This is the Dove Heather colorway, and my contrast color was coal. So I ordered 2 skeins of the coal for this project, but I only needed one, so that was what was left of the first skein. So this one I think I might make Bryce a hat out of this, or maybe I'll just keep it around and use it maybe in another Colorwork project. And yeah, what to say about this? I mean, it was very easy to knit. I have to say it was a bit hard on my hands. I was stress knitting too when I was knitting this. It was kind of the week and a bit before I started my new job, and I was just very worried about what was going to happen, and like worried that I was going to stuff it up somehow and my 3 years of training to be a nurse would all be for nothing. So I knit this like an absolute fiend. But I'm really proud of myself, and I really enjoy Colorwork. It's fun to see, you know, the pattern emerge, but it also can be really hard on your hands because you're constantly, you know, pulling those stitches out, so obviously your floats have more length. But once you get done with the yoke, you can just go on with stockinette and it becomes a really nice sort of mindless project. And I just think, I feel like this looks even better on screen than it does in real life. So I haven't tried this on yet. I think I'll knit a little bit more of the body and then try it on. I'm waiting to get some 12-inch circulars to do the sleeves. So my plan is to knit a little bit more of the body and then start on the sleeves and get them done and then finish off the body, so I don't have that sleeve island thing. I'm gonna go to the post office today. Hopefully those needles are there. As I said before, we've had a lot of flooding, and there's one major highway really from south to north, so when that's blocked off for, you know, weeks at a time, we don't get anything, and our supermarkets run out of food and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I can wait for my needles. That's not super important. Yeah, that's that. So I started my new career this week. For people who are new to the podcast, I spent the last 3 years completing a nursing degree, and I'm now a registered nurse, and I started my job this week. So the first 2 days were just, you know, orientation, and then I got to work on the hospital ward that I'm working on. And it's been really great. Like, the people there are phenomenal. They're so nice and accommodating, and, you know, having people say to me like, welcome to the team, and I've never ever had anyone say that to me in any other job that I've had. It just feels more special or something like that. Like, I've, you know, always been aware that in nursing there's kind of like a sisterhood, you know, obviously including the male nurses as well, just that sort of camaraderie that you have. And now that I'm not a student, I'm kind of welcomed into that sort of fold now. When you're a student, you know, you're not treated poorly, but, you know, you're only there for like a few weeks at a time, so each and every person is not going to invest that relationship with you, because you're going to be gone again very shortly. So, you know, I'm here to work on this particular ward for 6 months, and then I change to another ward and I do another 6 months there, and then that's my graduate year. I was very like scared and very anxious about it, but now I'm more excited and I feel more driven. Like I really want to be a good nurse, a really good skilled nurse, and it's a career. And I mean, this is the first week, and I haven't really been thrust into it just yet. I've been working very closely with other nurses, so this coming week I'll be obviously team nursing with another nurse, but I'll be more I'll have more sort of responsibility, and like that's scary, but I'm just gonna put one foot in front of the other and make sure the most important things get done. And that there's a lot of paperwork and things like that. I'll just learn that as time comes, and I know I'll get a lot of help from the people that I work with, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as I focus on my main nursing role, all of the other stuff will come with it. Just like every other job you work at, it seems like, oh, there's so much to do, but you kind of pick it up pretty quickly, so I'm not too worried about that. And I'm really happy that I landed this job. Like I've said before, it wasn't initially what I wanted, but I'm very happy that I am where I am, and it's a smaller hospital. I feel like people are friendlier, everybody knows everyone, and I really, really like that. And I kind of feel like everything happens for a reason, and I'm just gonna make the most of this opportunity and enjoy it. And it's funny now, like I have these 3 days off. So today's Friday, and I have Saturday, Sunday off, and then I start again on Monday. And it felt so good yesterday to finish work and be like, yes, I have 3 days off, and I have earned these days off. Because I've just been so like exhausted, totally mentally drained, just trying to like absorb all the information for my role, and then all of the emotional drain as well of being scared initially and anxious. So yeah, I'm very, very happy about that, and I'm really looking forward to working again. It's been quite a while since I've had a job, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's very odd. I've been a student for 3 years, and now I'm the registered nurse, so it's kind of like a novelty to be paid for working now, because as a student you don't get paid, you just get paid in experience, I suppose. So it's like, oh, I clock on when I start and I clock off when I finished, and I'm gonna get a paycheck for this work that I'm doing. And yeah, that's gonna be really nice. I'm gonna try not to buy too much more yarn. I've really gotta watch that. But I think one of the things that I really want to buy when I start getting my paychecks is to get a new camera, so I can improve the quality of the podcast, because I currently record on my phone and I'm not super happy with the quality of my phone, so that will be exciting to get that. I don't think I have anything else really to talk about, except that I want to make the podcast a fortnightly thing. So I think it's been about 2 weeks since I've last done one, so if I can keep that up, that will be really good. And I think that's a good motivator for me as well, to stick to a few projects, so then I have actually something to show you, some progress, or actually finishing something, so that will be quite good. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope everybody enjoys their weekend, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.